Alright there, this is another quick intro for the Tuesday night Muckers race. This is usually a busy field with some stacked, strong riders. It's always a good race. It's a shorter one than usual, 14 mile, but it is 1500 foot of climbing, so it's a hilly one. I'm just looking at the profile now on Rouvy. You can see, if I turn around there, it's got a bit of a shallower climb at the beginning, and then a bit of a steep one and a longer one at the end. There's plenty of red stuff in there, so I think that's where it could be won or lost. So it's going to be an interesting race. Hopefully get some race footage in amongst the video as well, and see how it goes with some strong riders. Enjoy. Cheers.
3, 2, 1.
We're just approaching the foot of the first climb, the shallower climb. Still quite a tough climb. Starts to pick up a little bit here, so the group was more or less together to the foot of that, but it starts to fragment a little bit. There is a rider pulling away a little bit the front bike and go trip, I think it is, but there's myself, Carol, and Hinsbergen that's kind of pushing towards the front here. It's tempo up this climb really. For the duration, kind of saving the legs for that last climb, but it does enough to break it up with just the four of us left at the top of this climb. But still a decent power, I think around about 311 watts for about 9 minutes up this climb, so it certainly wasn't too easy at all, and it done enough to break up the rest of the group. So we've crested the top of that first climb now, and it's split the group up into four. So there's four of us out front. There's myself, Hinsberg and Carol, and I think it's Helmsley Forres. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but I'm not sure if that was a proper rider or not, because his avatar, you can see, he was jumping backwards and forwards, but correct us if I'm wrong, but he was part of the group anyway, so there was the four of us pushing down the descent, and it was basically now a roll and ride to the foot of the last climb, other than a kind of a mini attack from Hinsbergen, which I'll come on to a little bit later. But we're kind of just rolling now, preparing for that last climb. So this is the attack from Hinsbergen. He's putting out 10 watts and then 9 watts per kilo there to get a gap. Wasn't really sure what he was doing there. I think nobody reacts to it because there's a massive climb coming up. So just thought I would pull him in as we approach the bottom of the climb or not. But I'm not 100% sure whether he was trying to get away and wanted to split the group up. But as nobody reacts, we just keep on riding at a steady pace, really, side by side, and I think eventually he gives up on the attack and we all come together a little bit afterwards. But bold move, I suppose, but there was a climb coming up not too long, so I think everybody else is just basically thinking we'll have a go for it at the bottom of the climb, so just pulls back together. Interesting though, something to break the boring ride up from the bottom of the other climb, I suppose. Okay, so we're approaching the foot of the finishing steep climb here. It's 1.81 mile, 7.5%, so it's quite a grueling climb really. A lot of red sections on there and a lot of steeper sections. This is the climb here. You can see it highlighted on Strava there. Difficult climb. Say the heart rate was right up for this one. It's like I said at the beginning of the race, this was basically, if we were together, this is where the race was going to come down to, and I suspected it would be between me and Carol. I went hard from the beginning of the climb. You can see there I managed to hold 351 watts for 8 minutes 43. It was quite an effort. I think from a power curve perspective, that's probably my best power for quite some time for that duration, certainly for this year, I would think. So 351 watts, you can see the climb up here. Managed to hold that power. And this is basically, I think, where the race was won. I had a gap on Carol. I think there were about 40 seconds or so at the top of this climb. And then it was a case of just holding that down the descent to the finish. But tough climb, certainly had the heart rate going. Tuesday Muckers night, race completed, managed to grab the win. As I predicted at the beginning, it was all going to come down to that last climb. It was me, Hinsbergen and Carol basically going into the foot of that. The other lad didn't really pay much attention to it because his avatar was jumping all over, so I don't think it was a real power meter or power rider or whatever. Anyway, went flat out 351 watts for 9 minutes, which was a tough effort. Managed to open up a gap to Hinsbergen and a gap to Carol as well, which is good work basically, because Carol's a cracking climber, and then it was a descent to the finish then, so just kept the power on the little bumps on the finish and run in. Managed to take the win, so happy with that. Good race and cracking workout.